We are providing you with information that you don't know and information that you need to know, and specifically providing you with the facts and providing a platform for our homeowners, our community, to be able to ask the questions. One of the things that I've learned over the years in being a community activist is that there's oftentimes both a fog in the audience and a fog in the pulpit. You may not have ever heard that before. In other words, there's a lot of information out there, there's misinformation out there, inaccurate information out there, some good information out there, but not the total information that you need to empower you on this journey as we rebuild Altadena. I, like you, my wife and I, we lost our home, we lost our cars, we lost everything. So we can relate. And so again, I welcome you, and if you would be so kind and give yourselves a round of applause for being here, I'd appreciate that. We are going to jump right into this meeting. Of course, everyone has been given a survey, and I want to encourage you to fill out the survey. One of the things that's going to happen, I'm going to share a lot of information with you. I'm going to share good information, solid information, even for those who may be fully insured, like myself. But did you know that being fully insured does not cover your full rebuild? Do I have any witnesses out there? Okay, all right, there's 4 or 5 of us. Okay, so we're all together, let alone if you're underinsured or have no insurance. There are some programs I'm about to share with you that will actually give you the opportunity to access funds that you need. So I want to encourage you to pull out your phones, snapshot a picture. At the end, all of our wonderful county, civil, as well as service providers that are going to be sharing with you this afternoon, we will have a question and answer briefly towards the end. They each will share about 7 minutes with you. I'm probably going to take the longest because I have a lot of information to share with you that I know will help you. Are you guys ready? All right. Okay. Look at your neighbor and introduce yourself to your neighbor real quick, just in case you have not introduced yourself. It's rude to sit down next to someone and you don't know them. And all the vendors, you all need to know each other as well. Yes. And that's a very important 2 tables in the back center back there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that again, for those walking in, I'm Anthony McFarland. So here's some important information that you must know. Now, I was told, I ran across some information that said there's 5 simple steps to this process of rebuilding. And it's really simple. At the same time, it's not as simple to the layperson, but we know that the Army Corps, for the most part, is doing the removal. Also want to encourage you, if you know someone that did not opt in or opt out, to please share with them that they need to opt in or opt out. They need to communicate with the county. If not, a lien will be placed against their property, and they will have only a certain amount of time to get it right. And if not, we don't even want to talk about what's next, okay? So again, Army Corps is doing the debris removal. With the debris removal, most of us have learned. How many of you, your properties have been cleared so far? Okay, mine was just taken care of. How many have not? Your property has not been cleared yet. Okay, awesome. So those of us who have had our properties cleared, you know that the Army Corps does not remove all of the debris, specifically the concrete, that the tractors come in and tear up your driveway that you're responsible for. But anyway, we'll need what's called a second debris removal, and you'll be able to get that help here today. And then the second step is prepare home design plans, right? And you're going to hear from a phenomenal department here in our community that has all the answers that you need to your questions. And then the third is obtain permits. And then you're going to start to do the construction and inspection, and before you know it, we're all going to be back in our beautiful homes. Amen. Okay, so amen means in church language, I agree. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal. All right. Okay. All right. So here's the first information you need to know. This is very important. Green Line Housing Foundation has ADUs. Green Line has acquired access to some ADUs that can be placed on cleared properties. Now, that's a special program that they have. It's going to be separate from some of the other services that you can get, but the information is right there for you to receive. Here is some valuable information. Green Line, along with Neighborhood Housing out of LA, which they're establishing their offices here, they are assisting with relief of for California homeowners' recovery from disasters. Now, this week, Governor Gavin Newsom announced the new Cal Assist Mortgage Fund, which will provide $105 million in grants to eligible homeowners whose homes were destroyed and left uninhabitable as a result of the fire. Now, January 23rd, remember this, see this, take a picture. Applications will open. Applications will open on June 12th. Eligible homeowners, hear this, can receive 3 months of mortgage payments up to $20,000. Grants do not have to be repaid. Are you guys getting this? And then applications will be reviewed in the order that they are submitted. So you want to make sure on June 12th you get you go to the portal. The portal is right there. Again, calassistmortgagefund.org. Next line of business that we all need to know and be aware of, and do not think what I'm getting ready to share with you, it cannot happen to you. The Sheriff's Department, some of you may be familiar with this, there's reports, and here recently we had 2 or 3 incidents passing and squatting on Altadena lots. And so we have a form in the back. I want to encourage you to get that form, fill it out, so that the Altadena sheriffs can request ID identification, and if they have your information on record, listen to this, that you are the owner and no one's on that property. They cannot provide false information, false contracts, false letters that say that you've rented your property, your lot to them. So again, just had more situations to happen. Now, how many of you are familiar with that already? Okay, good. 60% of you aren't. So that's good information. They also suggest that we put up, if you can, a 4-foot tall temporary safety fence for those who have lots that are open. I say even if you just do a string around your property with some flags that says do not enter, that will work as well. Again, you just want it to be clear and visible that your property is off limits. So again, forms are at the front table, and you can get that form. I encourage you to fill it out, take it to the Sheriff's Department, and drop that form off. LACDA, Los Angeles County Department Authority, they extended their deadline for disaster relief loan program for Altadena businesses, which is now open through June 30th. Open now through June 30th. And so with this program, it offers loans up to $75,000 to eligible small businesses in Altadena seeking to recover, rebuild, or retain local jobs. And then to be eligible, businesses must have corporate and public-facing storefronts. You cannot be an entrepreneur and get in on this program without a brick and mortar. So with that, the information is there. You can go to altadenabizrelief.lacda.org. Next one, consumer and business affairs. I just said that, didn't I? I sure did. Okay, here's another important note. foreclosures relief for wildfire-affected homeowners. A lot of that is starting to happen, and it's a very sad story. July 7th, there is a foreclosure moratorium for FHA, insured single-family mortgages, in effect until July 7th of 2025. If you need guidance exploring foreclosure prevention options, just remember this because it may be for someone you know. The Department of Consumer and Business Affairs counselors are available to help you. So for more information, you see the telephone number up there, or you can visit dcba.lacounty.gov/foreclosures-prevention. Public Health Department. We have Public Works here today as well. But public health, this is important for those of you who may need to get soil tests. Their soil lead testing is free. And so that's for the areas, the zones. Hopefully you received an email. If you did not, I encourage you to go over on Woodbury, and they'll help you with putting in your zip code, your address, to see if you're within the zone. We missed it like by 2 blocks, and I was like so happy. But for those of you that need to get soil tests, you can go to Public Health as well as USC. They're providing free soil testing and guidance about next steps that are available, and they're testing for lead. Let's see here. So you have that information there. All right, last but not least, 2 more. Supervisor Barger, I have with me here today Deputy Assistant Monica Bankin for Children and Family. And Supervisor Berger, for those of you who may not know, submitted a motion that was approved to remove permit fees for like-for-like rebuilds, and I believe, and you can ask the question, when we have our Q&A. I believe that it will include the 10%, but if you are looking to rebuild a different design, go from 1,500 square feet to 2,000 square feet, it will not. It does not apply to that. And so she plans to submit a motion for all permit fees to be removed. And so she's pushing to improve permit. Yeah, hey, come on. Palisades, amen. The mayor, Karen, she's doing it for Palisades, and we need it done for us. Deferred for now, find money later. Okay, my man said, Mark knows. Okay, okay, all right. So, that's a good question and answer. Let's talk about that a little bit more. But we have the team here from Catherine Berger's office, which is awesome. Special fund. Here's some other special funds. Altadena Community Preservation Fund. And Mark, I could almost have you just go on and jump up here right now. But the Altadena Community Preservation Fund was established through a collaboration of BET, NAACP, JSSK, and WME, alongside with the Altadena community organizations like Altadena, Altadena Heritage, Altadena Historical Society, and Walk Good LA. And they're providing a one-time financial assistance payment of $15,000 to eligible homeowners displaced by the fire. Now, Mark here is the president of the Rotary Club of Altadena, and they're doing a phenomenal job with focusing on our businesses and organizations within our community. And they're now accepting grant applications from qualified nonprofit organizations seeking to assist Altadena residents, businesses, services, and charities affected by the fire. And so for additional information and submit your forms, you can go to altadenarotary.org or contact Craig Cox. Now, Mark, am I on point?
You are on point.
Okay. And then tomorrow, they're hosting a resource fair at Loma Alta Park on tomorrow, June 7th, Saturday, at 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. p.m. Thank you. Yeah, my brain is racing. Thank you, sir. So I want to encourage you to attend that resource fair. They actually have real resources that they will be distributing, as well as blessing a lot of people with relief, much needed relief. So again, thank you, Mark. Anything I need to add to that? Okay, awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I introduce presenters, I would like for you to give them a warm welcome because they've taken time out. Some of them, this is beyond their work hours. I don't know, they work for the county, they might be paid, but I think they're sacrificing to be here today. First, we're gonna have County of Los Angeles Fire Department forestry staff. So they're here in attendance, and I'm not sure who's going to share, but we have Deputy Forester of Defensible Space Liaison, Kathleen Reyes, East Region Unit Megan Yanez, and Acting Deputy Foster of Fuel Modification Unit, Grant Denson, and then the Assistant, Sean Haynes. Did I say any of your names? All right, come on, guys. This is your Academy Awards presentation. Come on down. And they're going to share briefly on the landscaping and some things that they have for our community. And the chief in some of those, Darren, he has also provided me with some of the financial relief that you'll need from some of the sites that I shared so that you can receive monies for your landscaping.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Haynes. I am currently at the One Stop Shop. Some of you may have seen me there. If not, you can look for me next time you're there. This is Acting Deputy Grant Denson, and together we make up the Fuels Modification Unit. So these are the topics we'll be discussing. Briefly, the objective, what is fuel modification, what are qualifying projects? For most of you, if you're rebuilding and you're in the high fire severity zone, you will have to submit a fuel modification plan. We'll be talking about the latest updates to the fire hazard severity zones, briefly discussing like-for-like rebuilds, what a fuel mod plan actually looks like, and we'll briefly touch on plant guidelines. So this is the objective. Essentially, we're manipulating your landscape to ensure that there's defensible space. Ideally, we are moving plants further away from your home, reducing density, pulling trees away, and we'll kind of show you what that looks like in a plan later in the slides. For most of the rebuilds, you will qualify. Not every instance of a project that you're working on in your home is going to require a fuel mod. So qualifying conditions are any builds that require a permit, and you're constructing a structure that's greater than 120 square feet. So if most of your homes are gonna meet that, and so these are the rest. So we don't really need to talk about this too much, I don't think.
Hi, just to continue on with what Sean was saying, so that can all be found as far as our LA County Fire Section Code 4906.2. That's just what does qualify. Now, these are going to be some exemptions you'll see here. Typically, if you're not in the LRA high or, I'm sorry, if you're not in the LRA very high currently, you don't need to submit for fuel modification as of now. Structures that are also not in the SRA very high, high, or moderate, meaning if you're not in the SRA fire hazard severity zone at all, you also will not need to submit a fuel modification plan. Some common exemptions that you can see, a big one is play sets. People like to submit fuel mod plans for play sets. That is not necessary. Detached gazebos, detached pergolas, detached decks. Other things are like barbecues, gates or fences, retaining walls. As far as gates and fences, you still want to show those on your fuel mod plan, but that's not specifically what we're looking at. Walls and stuff like that, that's going to be more building and safety. Solar panels are also exempt, satellites too, above ground storage tanks, and cell towers. So there have been some fire hazard severity zone updates recently, and some of these changes are going to be finalized hopefully in July. That's what it's projected as. But basically, applicants who currently fall in the LRA fire hazard severity zone, the very high, which a lot of Altadena tends to be, they're all going to need to still submit to fuel modification. If you want to see a projected fire hazard severity zone increase and what it'll look like in the future, as of July, when they do announce that it is finalized, if you go on CAL FIRE's website, they have the fire hazard severity zone maps, and you can actually compare the current to what is projected in the future. Kind of touching on the like-for-like rebuilds as Pastor McFarland did earlier. So pretty much, in order to facilitate your kind of rebuild process or permitting process, if you plan to have the same, well, if you've submitted to fuel mod in the past and you've had an approved plan, pretty much you can use that plan. You don't need to pay another fee. That plan is valid in perpetuity. So as long as you have that approval, you're good to go if you plan to have the same footprint and same vegetation as before. I know that doesn't apply to everybody. It does save money, and it is an additional option.
We only have 4 minutes left, so I'll try to make this fast. So what is required on a fuel modification plan? Essentially, we need a site survey with all the structures and any existing vegetation, as well as any proposed vegetation. We also need the fuel mod zones labeled. We have more information on that in the back at the end. We can share that with you so you know what that looks like. And then your other typical site plans: scale bar, address, property address, parcel information, and also a set of on-site photographs. So this is an example of a sample plan. I know it's really hard to see. I apologize for that. You can see the plant legend is called out there. If you have a lot on your property, maybe you have a green thumb, there's a lot going on, it's really important that you share with us what exactly it is that you're planting and where it's going, and you make it really easy for us so that we can spend less time kind of trying to figure out where everything is. You can see we have the fuel mod zones there called out. We have Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C. Zone A is going to be 5 to 30 feet out from your structure. Zone B is going to be 30 to 70 feet, and Zone C, if your parcel allows for it, is going to go all the way back to up to 200 feet.
So these are some general plant guidelines. Typically, what the main thing is, you want to avoid instant landscaping. Instant landscaping is basically where you're planting a whole bunch of plants not at full maturity size, and as they do grow and mature over time, they become very dense, they grow on top of each other, they create fuel ladders, and all of this is not great for a defensible space standpoint for your property to be defended in the event of a wildfire. Within the 5-foot zone, this is a crucial zone as well. You do not want, if you are going to plant here, first of all, we're only accepting small herbaceous or succulent plants right now. Future regulations may prohibit all plants as a whole, but we have to wait for that announcement before that's enforced. Now, as far as climbing plants, no climbing plants. Avoid combustible mulch and artificial turf in those zones as well. Now, plant arrangement, you'll typically see a pattern of the densities increasing as you venture outside towards Zone C, and that's normal. But within close proximity of your home, that's where you really want to pay attention to defensible space. Small trees, you can allow those within 30 feet of structures. That's acceptable, but you want to make sure that their mature canopies do not exceed or encroach on within 10 feet of your structures.
Okay, we got a minute left here, and these are some examples of herbaceous plants. Most of you have probably seen these. Generally, they are broad-leafed and they're not really receptive to embers, making them really suitable for planting closer to your home. And
And so this is the last slide we have here. You can contact us by email, forestry fuel modification at fire.lacounty.gov. Our phone number is below. And you can also submit your plans based off of that website link there. It's abbreviated. We do have other units as well that can help you through the process depending on what your questions are. The environmental review unit is specialized in like emergency oak tree permits. We've been getting a lot of questions about that at the Altadena One-Stop Shop. We have the defensible space unit here, Kathleen and Megan with us today. They can go over annual defensible space inspections. Fire plan can give you insight on fire safe councils, fire wise communities, and home hardening inspections. And then our nurseries also have native plants available for you guys for free. So I just wanted to go over one more thing. As far as after you get fuel mod approval, you still need to complete your construction and your landscaping before you request an inspection. That inspection is part of that sign off saying you pass is part of your certificate of occupancy sign offs. So just keep that in mind. Thank you for your time. We're sorry for your loss, and we're here with you guys.
Yes, thank you, guys. And I know if you're like me, my wife had a lot of stuff going on, and I have some questions for you. We have LA Public Works here. I'm not going to bring them up, but they'll be back there to answer questions for you. We have regional planning, and here right now I'm going to bring up building and safety. Visual, if you'll come on, and we're going to cut everybody's time to 5 minutes or less. And of course, you'll be able to answer questions at the end, as well as meet with people to assist them with questions that they have.
Hi, good evening. How you guys doing? Good. So I'm with Public Works Building and Safety. I'm here to share just an overview of the permitting process and the resources at One Stop Center. I would encourage you to visit the One Stop Center if you haven't done so, to get more information about specific information about your property, and so to help you, those information will help you rebuild and apply for permits. So very simple. I have this handout at the back, including a few other handouts that you can use to apply for permits. So the 6 simple steps for the permitting process. First is debris removal. You got to get debris removal sign off with the environmental program. Second step is to prepare your plan. And then third step, start your permitting process. You apply to regional planning, pay for the permit fee, pay for the application fee. Maybe it will be waived in the future, you think? Okay. And then once planning approves, you go to the next step will be applying for application for building permit. And this, again, you pay for the building application fee. Additional document may be required for some projects, and then the plan checker will review it in 10 business days for first review, and subsequent review, if there's outstanding correction, will be done in 5 business days. And then once you the plan is approved, you pull the permit for construction and inspection, and finally final sign off, you can move in. And then want to share information about One Stop Center. It was opened on March 3rd, early this year, and it's a walk-in. It's open for questions you want for consultation. You can walk in and ask for information, or you can make appointment. if you do make appointment, we prepare for you a package of information specific to your property. That information is important for designer, architects, homeowners to use to rebuild your home. At the permit center, there will be fire department, regional planning, public health, geotechnical engineering division from Public Works, and Southern California Edison's. You can ask all questions, and they can help provide information and guide you through the permitting process. Some information for the permitting. There are several options for plan review process. There is self-certification. I don't know if you heard about it. Self-certification is for architects or engineers who had worked with building and with LA County before in prior projects. They can self-certify the project. It is a fast-track plan review with minimal plan checks because they're familiar with the code and the county codes. So it's a fast track. They self-certify, and it's faster. It's probably the fastest. And then there's also a pre-approved plan. Well, pre-approved plan is probably the fastest. Basically, we have a pre-approved plan that's available for you to get. That pre-approved plan does not require any plan review time. So if you build with that pre-approved plan, there's a very minimal review time required for permit and for plan review. There's also like permit plan review. The like for building and safety is that well, this is actually for zoning. You want to elaborate on that?
Hello, my name is Brian McGinnis. I am a senior regional planner at LA County Planning on the disaster recovery team. I joined about 2.5 months ago. I spend most of my time at the Calabasas field office dealing with Palisades fire recoveries, but I will be covering the Altadena One-Stop Center in the coming weeks. So if you swing by, there's a good chance I will see you there. You covered a lot of what I was going to say. Show of hands, who has been to the Woodbury address, the One-Stop Center? Okay, so yeah, more than half. Yeah, so you already know where it is, but in case anyone does not, it's located at 464 West Woodbury Road. We have walk-in hours and appointments available. Regional Planning's disaster recovery team email is recovery@planning.lacounty.gov. And we have a phone number as well. That's 213-974-6411. So a bit about like for like. This is probably a recap for many of you, but a like for like rebuild can be up to 10% or 200 square feet, whichever is greater than the pre-existing structure, as well as a 10% increase in height. You can build back whatever was there, even if it did not conform with current zoning requirements. It still has to comply with building code, fire code, and health and safety code. One thing to note is you cannot encroach further into required setback areas or in the protected zone of oak trees. But beyond that, so if you go beyond the 10% or 200 square foot allowance, that would kick you into a non-like-for-like rebuild, which just means you have to comply with all applicable zoning requirements. So that means the Altadena CSD, that's Community Standards District, as well as residential design standards. So I will be back there at the Public Works table, even though I'm regional planning. And I have information about like-for-like rebuilds, the Altadena Community Standards District, and temporary housing. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.